Hello everyone, we're gonna cover the grand final of the Quack Cup 3, the mixed base fog tournament. And as a bonus, stay to the end because we're gonna have an interview with the winner, the champion of the Quack Cup 3. Yep. So, our players of this finals are gonna be Kill Me First and Mobliv. Let's go and look at the map, because if you thought that the other maps were crazy, well, buckle up your seatbelt, because yeah, this one is just beyond everything. So, what do we have here? What is this map? I'm gonna give you a second, take a look at it, take a second, just try to process it. Yeah, it's quite a bit, right? So what's going on? Let's take it step by step. We got 4 bases, I think. So we got, this is gonna be 2 bases for Yellow Comet, another base over here, and another base over here. And then we got the 2 base for, what is this? Gray Sky, another base over here, and the other base over here. Don't worry about this one. This is just a FTA counter. This is gonna be yellow. So 2 base means strong side, right? That's what I always say. Strong area, weaker area, weaker area, strong area, weaker, weaker. But not only is 2 bases, you also have an airport, which is it's pre-owned, so it's even stronger, right? That's only from the deployment of units. Of course, it is mixed base, it is fog, and there's definitely a few spy units which are gonna be these tanks. So we got this tank, this enemy tank spying onto the 2 base, like the stronger area. It has 3 vision, so it has enough to see both of these bases and spot the production. Also, it's gonna be able to see some of the capture phase, maybe seeing when you get this city or this one, or you're going towards one of these, or skipping or going over here. So you're gonna get a nice idea of what the strong side is doing, or what it's planning to do over the next few turns, what units it's building, stuff like that. And the other spy is gonna be over here, and it's mostly just to give vision of this base. It seems like it's giving a little bit of an umbrella of vision, also probably to see whether these units from the strong side are approaching this weaker base. You don't have enough vision to spot these 2 cities. I guess if you were Sandra you could, but this is a tier 4 match, so no Sandra. So I think, yeah, it's just to have vision of it, to have a more clear idea of what the strong side or strong area is doing and is planning to do, so these weak areas don't just immediately die from the strong side. Also these are like just sitting on reefs. I mean, you know, technically they would sink, right? You know, they're just tanks standing on water. I guess maybe the reefs have some rocks or something, so they can sit there. Maybe they were dropped off by a I don't know, a copter or a plane or something, or a lander. I don't know, doesn't matter. They're just standing there, they're just getting vision. You can definitely take them out. So this one can be taken out by copters, or say you get vision with a T-copter or copter and you have an artillery, you can take it out. And this one you can take it out with a mech or artillery. So you can definitely take them out later in the game if you want to. And then we have artilleries also. We got these 2 artilleries. We got this one to the sides. You know, they're kind of protecting like the weak side. It's locking this pre-owned city, which has something to do with FTA countering regarding funding, and it just like kind of reinforces this base, I guess. You can have some units standing over here and being protected by this artillery from early harassment from this base, maybe. And maybe it just gives you a little bit more security, so that you don't have to go and protect the city. You can just focus on getting these cities. Maybe also try to defend from the strong side if it decides to go this way. You know, maybe fight for these 2 cities. It's a little of a security kind of thing. And then we got the one in the middle, which is, it's very strange. It's kind of odd because it's the middle, it's kind of far away, but it's definitely in range of these two cities and this pre-owned comp tower, of which there's only one comp tower per player on this map. So it's going to be really hard to try to flip the comp towers, right? You're gonna have to take out the artillery to be able to flip the other player's comp tower. So they're probably just gonna stay like that all game, unless it gets to a stage where maybe, I don't know, you have max and stuff, and you can try to deal with it. Or maybe you bring a copter, you know, bring a copter from over here, boom, and take it out. That can definitely be a thing, but not in the early game or the mid game. It might be more for like a later mid game. You know, we'll have to see. This is definitely a very interesting map. A lot of things could happen. I can definitely see interaction between this base and this two base over here, over this city. Maybe this one, but it definitely seems like these one bases are responsible for a lot, right? It's your typical thing in a mixed base. And as it is fog, you run into the problem of having too few units in this area, and the less units you have, the less vision you have, the less information you have, and less options you have to carry out a turn. Like, you don't have vision of something, so you can't attack there, you don't know what's going on, you just have to invest. You know, maybe you have 3 or 4 units, you have to invest one of them, which is already like 25% of your army in that area, just to get vision, to then send maybe one of the other units to do something. So it gets really tricky really fast. So unit count is going to matter a lot. So let's get right into it, I think. So we're going to start getting those captures. King first in Yellow Comet, as he always likes to be Yellow Comet. I'm gonna leave him with that color, and we got Molotov with Gray Sky, which I believe Gray Sky is supposed to be like the army that Sturm had in Advance Wars 1, because they have like the same skins or whatever, the little guys that Orange Star had, but it's just in the black or gray color. Anyways, I need to talk about something during these first few turns. Actually, there is something. King first decided to skip this city, like you're skipping funding to go for one of these two cities, which could be maybe contested from this stronger side. Makes a recon also, a day 2 recon. No base skip, just base 2 recon, just because of the increased funding that there's in this map. And Mobile also goes for a day 2 recon. So very risky. Actually, this recon is like way too big of an investment. That is not an infantry, which could be capping. So pretty huge. It definitely needs to get some value, right? And I think maybe the plan, as Mobile also skipped this capture right here, is to try to go for these as quickly as possible. Probably this one. This is the only one that's in range. To get as quickly as possible before Killing First could have any vision of it, that the artillery could be of use to stop him from getting it. But Killing First is like actually mind reading or something, and that's why he's gonna send this recon to get vision of that city next turn to stop that capture. Yeah. There's a reason why these two are in the finals. Same thing by Mobile over here. There are no matches for them to watch as a reference on this map, I think. Maybe from like lower divisions. But it's funny because maybe on the previous rounds, certain matches would end first, you know, that would end sooner. And so maybe you played slow, then you could be like, oh, okay, just patiently wait and wait for one of the faster players to finish their little set, and then see how the match develops, and like, oh, okay, oh, that's an interesting thing, and then you can copy, you know, some other stuff. But here, no, this is the final. They're the only two playing in Division 1, which is the top division of this Quack Cup number 3. So we're actually getting a T-copter here by Mobliv, of which Killing First is gonna have vision of. And yeah, and then just infantry. So Mobliv is gonna go for this capture here. So let's see. Killing First is gonna sit over here to have vision, and it's gonna get information of this tile, and it's gonna shoot at that infantry. Oh, I 100% forgot to talk about the COs, the CO matchup. Sorry for that. I completely forgot. Yeah, we got Adder against Sammy, so it's a tier 4, and it's a big deal, right? Like because the fact that this is a Sammy infantry means that you really need to hit it hard so it stops. So it actually stops the capture. Because if this would have been at 4, then Sammy would be able to finish the capture. So a pretty big deal there. It's interesting that maybe that's a reason why Killing First decided to do this recon and artillery kind of play. Maybe the reason also why Mobliv decided to skip and try to go for this capture. It is definitely not something that Killing First did. Maybe he was like, I'll probably do the same thing, so I'm just not gonna risk it. I'm just gonna go for the safe ones, get some income. But this is already pretty huge. The very first infantry from this base is already getting shot at and denied from getting income. So, pretty big. And just infantries. And this recon is actually I maybe like this recon more, this recon position in this forest, because it gets vision of these two cities as well. Not only of this one, but of these two. So you can try, if you want to, harass this capture. The thing is that it is in range of the space. Like this city is 2, 4, 5, 6. So these two are actually in tank range from the space. So it would be very risky to just try to go with a recon and try to drop. And Mobliv is actually like, I'm just gonna keep capturing. I think it'd be wise to just pull back. Like at this point, you can safely assume that there's something giving vision, probably a recon. It's the only thing that would be here in 4 turns giving vision that is outside of vision range of your infantry. Might as well maintain that unit count, right? This 3 HP reach infantry can still provide vision, as well as sitting on a mountain and giving like way more vision. So let's see, this T-copter with the extra movement is gonna do 2, 4, 6, 7, make an infantry. We're gonna ship it somewhere. I don't know why I say ship it, it's a copter that flies. It like, do you ship things flying? Do you fly them? I don't know. So we're gonna start these captures. I wonder if Killing First makes a tank here, that'd be like next level mind reading stuff. So yeah, we're gonna blow up that infantry. Recon is gonna go towards the right, try to get some vision of these properties. And we got another recon. Killing First is just like not making any infantry. What are you doing? I mean, this infantry went, it skipped, went for this city, and then it's going back and it's going for this city. And we got 2 recons from here. There's only 2 infantry, so it's really delaying these captures a lot. So a very big investment, really, to make these 2 recons. But just to get a lot of vision, I guess. Maybe some harassment if possible. I guess he has spotted the T-copter, so it's like, okay, if there's a T-copter, then there isn't going to be a tank here or somewhere else. I mean, you do have vision of these 2, so you know when a tank will be made, so you can probably get hits off with your recons over here. You can probably collapse with these 3 recons and get as many hits as possible before the tank that you will know of can retaliate. I'm not sure if that made any sense. But anyways, T-copter moving in, getting some vision first before dropping off the infantry. It seems like we're gonna start some of these captures. Definitely Mobliv is going to be ahead in the captures over here than Killing First, just because of this double recon. I guess Mobliv also had this recon, but Mobliv is going to have 4 infantry versus 3 now. Let's see. So drops off the infantry over here. And and it's gonna get shot at by this recon. So this recon getting value actually, although it was a non-capping infantry, it still got value, and I think that's definitely worth. I think Killing First is getting away with a lot here, killing this infantry over here. This recon hasn't gotten any value from Mobliv just yet, and it was a day 2 recon. And this T-Copter hasn't gotten any value yet because the infantry that it shipped or ferried or whatever got injured by this recon without any retaliation. So let's see. Got another recon. K-First is just making so many recons from this base over here. And no tanks here? Seems like it. No tanks, just infantry. Just tons and tons of infantry. So we're gonna get this one. We're gonna start these 2 captures. You can see like King First is delayed, you know? These 3, these 3. We're gonna start here and there. I mean, they're both not making any vehicles from this 2 base, but I feel like you could, although you are being spied on, but why does this tank have, oh, never mind. There was a fuel glitch there, but I feel like you definitely can make a tank here, knowing that you can't see what this base is making or this base is making. You definitely need some defense, right? But at the same time, if you're making something to defend here, you're not making something to attack on one of these 2 bases. So that's probably what they're doing, right? You're making a tank here to put pressure, because you know what's being built here. You can safely pressure and attack with this base instead of defending. So very, very tricky. We're gonna get vision and take out that guy. Yeah, this T-Copter has only gotten information, but no captures yet. This recon, we're gonna probably get a KO here, so we're gonna stop another semi-capture. And another artillery. Let's see here. It's already looking very solid for Killing First, I would say, at least in this opening. Lots of little kills, lots of little denials. This first initial infantry, there's this kill here, there's the 5 HP guy that was here and then was killed here. This T-Copter hasn't been able to get any value. Let's see. I'm gonna get these captures. We're gonna have vision of this tank and shoot at it with this artillery. Okay. Need some more vision. It definitely looks like Killing First is collapsing a little bit onto this 2 base area. The fact that there are no tanks, it's just like these recons are just gonna go crazy. They're just gonna keep shooting at stuff. And we got a tank finally to cover these guys. This one is probably gonna be killed. And we got another tank over here. And no pressure from Mobliv from this area onto over here though. I mean, we do get this hit right here. Now we got this recon, which is really nice, sitting on the city. So denying that from Killing First to get it and injuring this infantry. So that is definitely some value. And it is also the recon that was dancing around over here earlier. So it finally got a little bit of value. That's nice. Maybe if you're Killing First, you're like, oh, that's the recon. He's not gonna have vision of these 2 cities. I can go for them. So yeah, we'll see if he decides to take that gamble. But we're gonna get a little shot there, get some charge. We're gonna take out that infantry and start a capture. And moving towards the middle. So taking control of the middle here is definitely gonna be something of value. Definitely an important thing. You can join these armies. We've seen it in the other maps. Well, not on the previous map, not on the semi-final because there was no middle of that map, but there was a little bit of a joining the armies kind of thing. Oh, it's mixed space. If you can join the armies, it's a huge deal. And here you can definitely join the armies. It's similar to like the first map, the one of the quarterfinals. You can join, like say you join this over here with this stuff and this stuff, and then you just collapse onto one of the bases. That can definitely be very, very strong. Boom, down goes that tank, the spy tank. So finally Mobliv will be able to build stuff without being spied on. This recon 245 actually doesn't have vision of the bases. So this base is finally gonna start to push out. Lots of mechs, trying to get some boosts with the T-Copter. We'll see what the plan is here from Mobliv. And lots of tanks from this base, trying to play very defensively. I think something that I forgot about talking is the lab situation. You know, there's no HQs, so they have 2 labs each. So for gray, we got this lab, and yellow has this lab and this lab. And both of the labs are on the weaker base, right? They're both on the 1 base and not on the 2 base. So maybe a Sammy lab cap could be something to fear. But this army is also very scary, so I'd be more scared of this army capturing this lab than Sammy capturing this lab. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. They're pretty safe. No, this one especially is really, really safe. Actually, King Force is not gonna pour down here. It's just gonna, looks like shifting towards the middle. Just getting closer and closer towards the middle, getting this capture. It seems like that, yeah. It's joining everything here. There's a lot of infantry. And infantry are slow. They're very, very, very slow, so it's gonna take a while to get them where you want to, but it's definitely important to plan ahead where you want that big infantry ball, the big infantry flood, where you want that to be attacking. So actually Mobliv very boldly gonna move over here to start this capture, but killing first, probably also assume that something like this could be happening, and has this artillery in this forest, very safe, pointing at both of these cities, just so that he can shoot at any Sami infantry trying to cap one of those yellow cities. And we're gonna have some mechs. T-Copter actually getting vision. I mean, I guess I got trapped, right? Getting vision of this forest and having this mech, so Killing First is gonna have to be careful here. So this artillery can get a shot here or here, but actually Killing First doesn't know that there's a mech. This recon does 2, 4, 5, so he doesn't know that there's a mech. It could be an infantry. Unless you can see the infantry is moving off the transports, I don't remember that. But yeah, this artillery can shoot. I don't think you can take care of this T-Copter, especially from just one tile, like the tank cannot kill it. So you can't deal with the mech, so then Mobliv can take this out and then shoot with the mech at the artillery. Unless, that is, if would this reach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? So I guess in theory you could move off the artillery. Oh wait, no, but there's this guy. That is really tricky. So I guess you could, if this repairs to 10, you can do recon, infantry, take this guy out, and then you bring this recon, attack this T-Copter and tank. I don't know if it kills it, but if it does kill, then this infantry could attack this mech. But you wouldn't be stopped. Oh, I guess you would be stopping this one, right? Because you're killing this infantry, but you're not stopping this one. And that's what brings this artillery to protect this capture. So very nice. And there's this tank as well. There's artillery protecting the artillery. This is a nice little formation by Mobliv. Definitely something to be scared of and to respect, for sure. And we're gonna start this capture very protected by this artillery and having vision with this recon. So very nice. This is getting very spicy. Look at the vision difference, right? I love to see this. This is Mobliv's vision. Boom. You can see the difference from having so many recons. You have this 1, 2, 3, 4 recons providing so much vision. That's insane. So, what does Kill Me First decide to do here? I think there's a lot to decide. Either attacking into this and then probably just dying to it next turn. Probably be the wisest to pull back and make a medium tank or just try to defend more, I guess. We'll see what he decides to do. He gets this capture, he gets this mountain, gets the vision, and it's actually going to take out that recon, which is really nice. And we're actually going to go for the kill, it looks like. Actually bringing this tank all the way from over here, and notice. So we're gonna get that kill there, interrupt that capture, get that kill over there, and actually gonna get a tank hit onto this tank. Although there is in vision artillery and 2 mechs. But this does mean that Adder is getting that charge, so we're getting close to those powers. And we're gonna get a shot onto the mech instead of the infantry, which makes sense because the artillery would have finished. Well, actually, it wouldn't have finished the capture, right? We saw that I left it at 3, but maybe it is a roll. Maybe it was a roll to leave it at 4. But still, like, I think it makes more sense, or it definitely makes sense to shoot at this mech. In the long run, you're gonna lose the city, and might as well just take down one of Sammy's most precious units, which is a mech. Oh, wrong button. So we're gonna take that guy out instead of this one. Oh, I think it's because we're gonna do tank infantry to take this guy. Yeah. Oh, actually going for a side slip. What's the side slip for? 2, 4, 6, 7. Oh, is it maybe the mech? Kill this off. Start the capture. Start this capture. Was it for the mech? Okay, you start the capture. I mean, you also start that one. I guess you also start the comm tower. I mean, that's pretty neat actually. You're really overloading this artillery. Look at how overloaded that artillery is. What do you stop? The comm tower cap, the other 2 cities. There's 2 tanks, 2 recons, and a mech in range. There's definitely a lot. And it's going to be hard to decide what to do. I'm also going to start this capture, also enabled by side slip. And, was that enabled also? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So it did enable that attack there. Boom. And we go for the medium tank, which there is artillery, there's like an artillery and a half, but I think this is actually a pretty decent attack by Kill Me First. Really crippling the forces of it. In the long run, I'd definitely benefit this area to overload this and take it over, if that's how the game plays out. But this attack is definitely going to slow down that push, injuring this artillery, injuring this tank, injuring this mech. That means that there's only these 2, like artillery, mech, that are healthy, and this tank. And Adder has the power on, so it's gonna be very tricky. Like, Sammy can use double time, and it only gives use to this one mech. And then there's a medium tank, which is not in range of the tank, but it can definitely shoot at anything. If, like, say these mech attack here, it can take care of it. So, very interesting. It definitely is to just slow down this push, and very effectively, really, I think. And we're gonna see more infantry. Copter. I wonder if this copter is gonna try to take out this tank, or just leave it there and just keep sending stuff. Probably take out this artillery, that'd be maybe stronger. And lots of units. We're seeing a very big unit count difference. I would definitely prefer Kill Me First position right now. It's looking really strong. That first Adder power, getting those hits, just an overwhelming unit count, and having control of the middle, right? Like, you control the middle. Motive is completely separated. You got this area, you got this area, and you got this area. And for Kill Me First, it's like I got this area, and then I got like this area. Like, I'm just collapsing everything here and everything here. So I got 2 areas. And preventing Mobliv from joining the armies. So really big. Let's see what Mobliv does. So we're gonna get a shot there. We're gonna take care of that recon. Yep, boom. And we're gonna take out that tank. And we're actually gonna use double time. Okay. I don't know. I mean, you get this mech shot onto the artillery, maybe. You can put it here and shoot at this recon. I mean, the most worth would be to shoot at this artillery. But then you only have infantry. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not seeing the potential of this double time. So mech is going to shoot at the artillery. Doesn't take it out. And I'm going to shoot at that infantry as well. And pull back. Interrupt that capture. Sadly, it is right in front of that medium tank. And I'm just gonna use the extra movement. I'm gonna get a shot there and take out that one. Interrupt the capture and shoot with the artillery onto this tank. And makes an anti-air in response to this copter. Which is surprising because you would have seen that it went. Oh, I guess it could be. No, it can't be here because you would see that. It's 2, 4, 6. I mean, I guess you do need it because you need another turn to be in range of this area, and it's in response to this copter right here. And we have a copter, an infantry, and anti-air. So now it's Killing turn. With the income advantage, we have Adder with the income advantage instead of Sammy. Unit value wise, it's looking better for Mobliv. I thought it was going to be looking better for Kill Me First, but. And unit count wise, it's looking better for Kill Me First. Position wise, it's looking better for Kill Me First as well. And then charge wise, they're the same, right? They have no charge. This mech shot is actually going to get a shot here on this artillery. So that artillery is a gunner. We're gonna get vision here, and probably just gonna shoot. Probably all of this is just gonna destroy all these infantries, and these artilleries are gonna be completely blind. They're gonna have no vision whatsoever. So let's see, boom, boom, boom. Get vision, even attack this artillery. Get these captures. Get this forest and. Get these shots here with a medium tank. Makes another medium tank against this. Just like really trying to slow this push. Because although Killing First is really winning here very strongly. Remember, this is a 1 base. So like you've already killed so much. There's not gonna be anything left here to reinforce. And there's not even an airport or anything. And these are really far away to reinforce. And you're cutting off the reinforcement lines. The only cards that Mobliv would have right now would be to win a push here. Like if Mobliv can kill stuff and take over this base, then it could be even again and have a chance at winning the game and winning the tournament. This is the final. Copters are gonna zoom by this tank. Maybe Killing First is also trying to pressure over here, but without artillery you can't. Artillery or medium tank or something like that, because it just invites a medium tank by right here. But the income difference is pretty big, so Sammy is gonna have to do something about it urgently. Also, given that these are probably gonna fall under Adder's control, like all these 4 are probably gonna. I mean, this doesn't give income, right? Like these 3. I guess I could see Sammy getting these 2, but Sammy is very low on foot soldiers, like infantry and mechs. There's only these 2, and the other 2 are like just fresh out of the oven, the factory, the base. So a Sammy without foot soldiers is just a negative firepower CO. as we are gonna take out these units, and Cody's gonna move in, cover this tank. Maybe somehow try to do some wall and yeah, something like that. Protect these artilleries and try to maybe get a shot with them onto the medium tanks. That would be ideal. But it's looking very like, how do you say, like a very fragile wall, like a very like, you know, the House of Cards expressions, like it's like a little a blow or a breeze or something is gonna be able to knock it down. And we got a medium tank here. Yep, because of all this pressure. This pressure invites medium tank panic buy button. Remember, if you're under pressure on your one base, under pressure and outnumbered, and there are no tech ups or artilleries, buy a medium tank. Look at the vision that Kill Me First has. That's insane. And we're gonna get an interrupt here. We're not gonna allow that capture and a little sacrifice. And this probably enables that kill to free up the medium tank. And we're gonna kill another infantry. We're gonna finish off that artillery. This mech is left with just one bullet or one rocket or bazooka. We're gonna take that guy out and probably cover here so that the artillery doesn't get a kill. Maybe take out the vision, get another doink with the medium tank on the tank. Everything out of range of the artilleries. We're actually getting a shot there, and this means that Adder now has the side slip charged. So that is something that Motive is gonna have to be careful of. So there we go, the quadruple cap, and it looks like stuff is gonna start to move elsewhere. Okay, Kill Me First really does not want to give up this base. I mean, it's fair, right? Like, this is it. If you're able to hold this base, you win. Like you look at that unit count, look at that income. If Sammy can't be ahead by now, after all this fighting with the early infantry and stuff like that, if she can't be ahead from using her increased firepower and also trying to force caps and force fights with her caps and stuff like that, it's gonna be looking pretty rough. So if Kill Me First can just hold here, well, actually just like hold this base so that Molded doesn't get it, then it'd be very, very winning for Kill Me First. So let's see what Molded decides to do. There's 2 medium tanks and 1 mega tank, and you have 2.5 artilleries. Let's see. But this is the finals. I don't think either of them is gonna give up that easily. They're gonna give their best. I'm gonna try to the very end because it is the finals. Whoever wins this gets the cup, gets the trophy, gets the honor of winning a Quack Cup. So we're gonna shift, take up to over here, mech, and we're gonna take out a tank, make a recon for some vision because it's very important, or else this medium tank is gonna go blind next turn. And that is it. And oof. So I think Mobile did a really good job here taking out all the other units. There was like a few, these tanks and these recons from Kill Me First. They're all gone, even this infantry. So now you can see the very big lack of vision that these 3 units have. Maybe instead of a mega tank, this could have been a recon, you know. Maybe that could have been better, and then you just have vision. Medium tanks can shoot at stuff. Because Mobile does know that there's a mega tank, so I think this was a pretty good approach. And then you can just move off the recon and then make your mega tank, maybe something like that. But Queen First is blind here now. So let's see, we're gonna get that com tower, so double com tower for Adder. We're gonna just, I think, probably block this. I'm gonna take that one out because it was in vision range. And we're gonna have enough charge for a Sidewinder. Why a Sidewinder? Probably because this infantry is gonna be able to reach this base with 5 tile movement. So that's probably what we're gonna see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then reveal that guy and start that capture. Wow. So we all thought that maybe Moblev was gonna take over this base first, but no, Kill Me First was able to take this base first. And this Mega Tank is not gonna have any vision whatsoever to shoot at stuff. Like now when we change, you'll see like this artillery will only be able to shoot at this infantry, it's the only thing in range or in vision, and this medium tank will be able to shoot at one of these 3 or 4 or whatever, but oh no, I guess yeah, because you have vision of these tiles, you know that you can attack from there. So yeah, I'm gonna move some more stuff. Mega tank, boom, just gonna take out an infantry and makes another medium tank, just like a wall. A mega tank and triple medium tank wall. Yeah, if you want to deny any 2-hit KOs, I guess that is the way, right? You can't 2-hit KO a mega tank very easily, and you can't 1-hit KO a medium tank very easily. This artillery is locking the base though. So let's see. As long as Kill Me First keeps making tech ups, I guess you can just keep making medium tanks and just have them all together. A big square of medium tanks. That is very funny. Let's see what Moblev does. I mean, I don't know if maybe with a victory march he can take. Wait, could he reach? No. Like say if you potentially could take this medium tank off and you do a victory march if you get enough charge, and you can just touch the base and you get it, and as there's no infantry then Kill Me First wouldn't be able to get it. But again, there is a mega tank, so he could also just take it out and sit with a medium tank, but we'll see. So we're gonna get a shot there, another shot there, start some captures. Really falling behind on income, 21 to 30. It is looking very rough for Moblev, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see if Moblev can do something to come back from this. We got a bomber here to try to take over the space, because now that all of this is overrun and taken care of, all of this stuff is gonna start to shift over there. Although actually there's not that much really, to be honest. There's not that much army from Kill Me First. It's just infantry and some injured like copter tank recon. There's just one full HP tank, that's it. So right, it doesn't scare that much, but all of this is going to get captured, and it is a lot of income that will swing to the other side, so it is a very big deal in that sense. It is Kill Me First turn now, so you do need to join. Yeah, you do need to join there, or else this will get taken care of. And recon providing some vision finally coming from far away. You think it's a shot, but that is, I guess you can make a recon here now, probably, maybe. Yeah, make a recon, you get vision, and now these 3 can go crazy. Let's go. 1, 2, and 3. Yep. And that's with a double comp tower. So we're gonna get some hits there. Wait, and just creeping forward here, crawling, whichever you prefer, towards this area. Maybe as a, okay, I finally held here. I'm gonna start pushing more my advantages to close out the game, because you do have to close out the game. I guess you could hold it until, you know, day 35 or something, which is the day limit, but who wants to do that, right? So 33 to 18k income. Oof, and I know that Sammy has the victory march charged, but just the income, unit count, unit value difference is huge. The position, the bases it's looking over for Sammy. Moblev seems to be in the mood to keep fighting, maybe have a chance, or maybe just wanting to put up a fight and put up a show maybe. So that is definitely to be respected. This is definitely fair and definitely fine. Okay, first finally getting these flips over here. Gonna join to deny the medium tank from denying the capture, and actually gonna use side slip. Recon, gonna get some more vision. Allows the medium tank to get that attack. Mega tank as well. I'm gonna take that guy out. 1 HP recon, get some vision, and we're gonna go for some attacks. Stand on these forests, and not gonna attack over here. He did see the bomber, right? That this black bolt is very, very handy, because that bomber did 2, 4, 6, 7, so it did walk through or fly next to the black bolt, so it did how do you say, alert kill me first, that from the fact that there's a bomber there. So just pulling back and making sure that there's no bomber attack here. I wonder if he's gonna build here something, or if he's just gonna give the base up, because this mega tank is really far now. Actually, is that base gonna get flipped? I mean, this bomber does 2, 4, 6, it doesn't reach. So you could make another mega tank or even a medium tank, and it wouldn't be able to be dealt with. And it wouldn't be able, yeah, okay. Just to be safe, another mega tank. And recon, and yeah, this is 100% over for Mobliv. Mobliv decided to go and just check what Killyfirst had built in this base. Maybe he had built an infantry or a tank, and then it could have been dealt with, and then you do victory march, and this infantry can walk over and get the base, and maybe it wouldn't be a comeback, but it would maybe feel like you could have a chance, a very slight chance, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, the game was over. Mobley resigns, and Kill Me First is the winner of the Quack Cup number 3. Wow. Welcome, Kill Me First, champion of the Quack Cup 3. Congratulations. How does it feel?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I can't say I was expecting to win a tournament this early in the whole process, but I don't mind having a little trophy now.
Nice. Yeah, you went through all the stages. You fought against a lot of really top players as well. Was there any opponent that you faced that you really were like, oh, I think I might be done in this one?
I mean, I think for the initial rounds, it was I almost, I don't know, I wasn't very stressed out about it. The format was so weird to me that I just sort of went with what happened, and there were a lot of fun games, but it didn't really hit me until I think the second round of the top 8 that I was like, oh, these players are real good, and I don't know if I know what I'm doing here to really hang with them. It was very much like, all right, this could be tough.
So I wanted to ask you, so what are your thoughts on the mode of mixed base fog, which is very, very uncommon, and we would never see it in Global League probably ever, but this was definitely very experimental. Yeah, what are your general thoughts? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
I ended up enjoying the games a lot more than I thought I would, especially seeing other people's reactions to the format. I think in general, mixed base fog, I think I agree with the consensus that it's kind of a coin flip type of matchup, and maybe not the best sort of doesn't offer the best sort of dynamic back and forth that you might enjoy in normal fog games. But at least for the top 8, I felt like it rewarded a lot of really digging into what was going on in the maps, what's the real weak base? Where should you be attacking? Having some sort of plan ahead of time. I spent a fair bit of time before the matches started trying to figure out like where I was going to try to focus, and it felt like especially for these like one-off tournament games that was rewarding in some sense. I feel like I made decent decisions on like where to focus on each map.
Yeah, so that's kind of leads into the next question that I wanted to do. If you clearly had like a strategy, at least. I mean, I'm not sure for the first 5 rounds, but definitely I'm sure for the last 3. You're saying you had like you looked at the maps and you're trying to predict like where things were gonna happen and stuff like that. I guess my question would be, since we just saw all the matches, did you feel like the classic I say meta maybe from mixed base in general applied here as well, of like joining your armies from different bases, like trying to find those points where they could converge and just like feed into one big army to then go to one place or go to another, maybe crush one base? There was a lot of base trading in these matches. So
Yeah, I do think that ends up being important here, and maybe the piece that doesn't happen in standard is the importance of vision and having the ability to see where is it even reasonable to start that merge, or is your opponent playing more defensive or more aggressive from a certain base. And I don't know, I flipped through my own games very quickly, and I think for most of them I had tons of vision in like the center of the map, and I could just sort of see, hey, there's nothing going on here, so I have free reign to move my my joined army or something.
Yeah, and there was that the second map, the one of the semifinals, that they had the submarine and the cruiser, and so you kind of had always vision of 2 of the bases, but also kind of like the middle. I feel like that map was probably one of the ones with the most amount of vision.
And I think that map is actually the one where I misjudged the weak base, and I think it almost cost me the game. I had figured that the far corner bases were weakest because you could throw an artillery lock on them.
Yeah, I saw that.
But and I knew this going in, it's just so locked down in that corner that you can't actually siege it in any reasonable way. And so the more open base that's all by itself ends up being the true weak base. And so I had to make a pretty hard pivot somewhere like right after the early game in that one, because I was like, there's no way. I need to put equal amounts of pressure that my opponent's doing over on my solo base there. And I felt pretty behind until the very end, where there was like another hard pivot to attack the final lab. And I don't know if you want to bring up there's one turn I wanted to point out from that game.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I just want to say this match was insane. It's one of the most insane of like of this whole series. Let's see.
Yeah, the very final turn was the one that I was just thinking about. At the start of my turn,
the black one. Yeah.
Yeah, at the start of my turn, in the top left above that tank, I could have sworn that there was a unit above that tank. And if there was a unit there, I can't get enough charge, because I just can't get enough things to hit units. And Nanova here, deleted all the units on the bottom left. One of the reasons I was so aggressive in the bottom left was I was like, all right, I'm gonna throw these into artillery range, tank range. I'm gonna get Urban Blight 100% to stop the captures. And then they just deleted units.
Yeah.
And if they had a single and one more unit at that top left forest, I couldn't get the charge. And so I think that was the last move I made in the turn, basically. It was like, I moved everything else, it was just shy.
You
and I was like,
to
well,
see if the submarine was
I was definitely hoping that like maybe they didn't dive the sub, and I've got a copter here, and I had the 2 copters actually.
Oh
I
yeah, I
think I
see
actually
it. You don't even move here. Yeah.
yeah, and I think that was the last thing I did because at this point I know all the units except for like anything that might have snuck up around that corner to get into that forest.
Wow.
And at this point, I thought I lost. I thought, you got me, you blocked me in just well enough. I can't get enough charge. You deleted just enough units.
Yeah, because
But there wasn't something in that forest.
if maybe like did you consider moving maybe the mech here to get vision and then oh yeah, and then maybe attacking with the anti-air, or it wasn't enough, right? Because you needed this one here as well with the mech.
Yep.
And even
Yep,
that
it was
wasn't
basically, yeah.
Oh, you had these.
Yeah, and it all came down to like, was there something in that forest? If there was, I was just going to concede. I didn't have any way to deal damage to anything else. And for what it's worth, I didn't think I was this close to actually winning myself with the double lab cap. Like that the Urban Blight stops Nanova's captures, but also lets me double lab cap next turn. So I think the delete play was actually correct. It was just like off by that tiny bit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. As I was casting the match, I hadn't realized what was going on until like the very end of Nanova's turn. It kind of caught me off guard. Like I was trying to be mindful of the labs. There's 2 labs, but there's 2 per each, so it's like okay, it's more safe, right? And then all of a sudden, Nanoa starts doing this like all this blocking and deletes a bunch of like very valuable units. I think there's a medium tank over here, and some units over here. I was like, what is going on? And then I realized, oh yeah, it's the double capture and the little interrupt here. Yeah, it was gonna be able to get the lab cap, except for the Urban Blight. I thought that was like insane. It was like this match was crazy.
Yeah, and I was leaning so hard. I sent 3 units. I knew there was an artillery bottom right. I knew there was at least some tanks, probably mechs. I just threw those things in there. I'm like, there's no way I'm not getting Urban Blight. I'm being like, that's why I was so aggressive over there, because then that protects me for the turn, gives me a chance to capture the left one, the left lab. I know that one's safe. Yeah, and it just caught me way off guard.
Yeah, for sure. I guess besides this match, or maybe was this match the one that really stood out the most to you, or what about the quarterfinals or the finals? Which one do you think was like the most challenging, perhaps?
This one was definitely the most challenging, and the one that I felt like, I'm definitely about to, because I felt pretty behind in tempo for most of this game, and I think it was because I misidentified what the weak base was. And I had to play catch up to try to knock out the corresponding base to actually make that trade happen. The first rounds,
go ahead.
I think, for the first round, that one was not quite as eventful, other than piles of just mechs, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it was like winning the middle and attacking a little bit on one side, then attacking a little bit the other, attacking the other, and just like chipping away in general. I feel like it was very, very good and methodic and very like versatile. It was like adapting, going to one side, going to the other, and eventually getting a really big lead.
Yeah, for that one, I felt like I had identified this base as the one that I want to attack, and I just sent 3 bases versus 1 for that one. Everything from all my bases. Meanwhile, my opponent was maybe playing too defensive and not putting any counter pressure anywhere else. And then once they started building medium tanks, by that point, there was no real, way to take back control. I also really like this early mech actually getting some value. I think it made this turn here. I think this was a pretty important turn.
Yeah, this was like the most important turn for sure.
Yeah, because right now, if I don't get this mech hit, I'm actually it's 3 tanks to 2, right? It's not. Maybe I get a first strike on the top tank, but that's pretty bad. But because I can also take this shot here, now I have 2 pretty healthy tanks, and my opponent has 2 injured tanks.
Yeah.
And now I'm sort of in the driver's seat.
And you could also kind of like split here. So like you hit this tank, which is an okay trade, but it's even better because you get to split the forces. And so it's like 1.5 here, half here, and you kind of control here and split the forces. So it's hard for Mippen to coordinate an attack as well. But getting these 2 shots was like, it's huge.
Yeah.
And then splitting.
And then from here, like the double mech drop was mostly just to 100% like force. You have to build a medium tank here, right? In case you already didn't. This was just forcing. You have to put all of your money here, and then I'm just going to go to the top base. I think that was already my plan at this point. But and you can see the little chunk of units in the bottom left that just didn't do anything all game. They could have, if they had just like aggressively pushed in any direction, that would have caused me to split my forces. So I think this was mostly I picked the base to bully and then had initiative, and my opponent was playing too defensive, and so wasn't getting anything from the in response. So.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely very defensive, and it like to have the room to also get all of these middle captures, which was like a lot. And so from here it would just be like a long and painful bleeding out from Mippen. I think that was really good, and even making the medium tanks as okay, there's no way you're gonna maybe try to take this over from artillery push, and also I guess just also using your extra income too. Yeah,
and especially since the pattern of this game, I like bullied the right side base, and then I deleted all the units at the top, and then all right, now I was gonna shift everything towards that bottom left base, because that's the only place where units were left. So
yeah. So I guess another question that I just thought is maybe to give like a I don't know, brief overview or whatever of why maybe your CO choices, like maybe why Jess on the quarterfinals. I think you went Kindle in the semi, and then you went Adder in the finals.
Yeah, we can bounce through. For this one, it was mostly because recons look really, really strong here. I think Sammy was also a pretty solid choice just because of the mech drop on that one base. Just seems super strong. I was actually a little worried in some of my preparation for this that if you timed it correctly as Sammy with the black boat, you could actually block your opponent from ever reaching the center with the black boat. Because of the extra move, and because I think it makes it to block, and this is like a player one only thing. It was some. And you'd have to be really bold about it, and if your opponent can play around it too, right? The issue is if you move that middle black boat, the one off the city, if you do a full move towards your other base, then you can get blocked off. But you don't have to move all the way there. You can sort of move, just keep a couple steps into that little river area. So I was kind of glad my opponent didn't pick Sammy. But honestly, it was just, I'm not super comfortable playing Sammy in general. And I think that the vehicles in the center here are just so strong. It's just so open. Like Sammy definitely gets the advantage of, the transports dropping mechs. But once you're in that center region, it's all shoals and roads. Like recons and tanks are just going to go nuts.
Yeah, for sure. I think I remember your recons here. You had 1 or 2 coming out of this base, and they just go 2, 4, 6, 8. You just have full control of vision, and you can get to harass, and you definitely get like a very strong early advantage. And in the second game, you decided to go with Kindle.
Yeah, and that one was almost exclusively because of the artillery lock in the corner. Like, you have vision of that corner base. You can plop an artillery on that city. And that seems if I had timed it a little better in this game, I think it's just sort of unbreakable. I did super underestimate the power of Lash infantry and mechs on that mountain. And so I think I maybe lost too many units trying to fight into it. But getting the artillery...
There was actually an anti-air that you sent to attack an infantry on the mountain, and you knew that there was a mech behind it. Where was it? So like here, like you knew that there was this mech, and you still decided to go and take it out, and then you get like rocked by the mech.
Yep, it was because I had and I built a second anti-air too. Right?
Yeah.
And I had the artillery to clear I just needed to clear that mountain. And I was like, the only way to do this is to literally sacrifice a vehicle. Like, this is, yeah. I super underestimated the Lash power on that mountain. If I played a little more defensively and like had a couple more units here and had that artillery set up, then that top base gets locked pretty hard. That's a Kindle City boosted artillery pointing at the base. Like you can't build anything there.
Yeah.
But
sure.
At this point, there's 2 tanks rolling in, and all I have is anti-air, and so at this point, I was feeling kind of behind. Like I had sacrificed too many things at what is probably the weakest base. So.
Yeah, it's interesting that you were saying before that you thought that the weak base was actually this one, maybe because of the artillery dog and it being so maybe tiny here, and that in the end this one ended up being the weak base. And I feel like it's something that all 4 players went through, because all four players kind of did similar things. The artillery trying to lock the base. There was you, and there was someone else that did it in the other match, and it's just like the same thing happened where maybe initially like this base was like doing pretty okay, but then all of a sudden this base is like reinforcing with tanks and like completely abandoning this area, being like, okay, fine, you can have it, you can have this corner base, take this, and then having the 2 base, 1 airport just like collapsing onto this base. That was really interesting.
Well, that forest corner base just seems absolutely impossible to siege. It's all forests, there's mountains. Like honestly, if the game didn't end the way it did, if we just traded, I'm actually really glad it didn't. Because if we did just do a full trade, I think we were sort of in a position to kill that corner base, but it would have taken most of our resources. And then if you look at the resulting map, it's literally split across that river, and I don't know how you end that game at that point. I know. Right?
That's literally something that I was saying while I was casting. That's like, I hope they don't go into a base trade, and I'm pretty sure that they both don't want that, because you can only fight here, and that's it.
Yeah, I was starting to do a little bit of planning. I was like, all right, I'll buy a lander, I guess, and drop a rockets off in the center to base lock, and this all sounds terrible.
Oh wait, actually, yeah. Look, you can do like an artillery here. I had not thought about that.
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, this is where I was. I was like trying to think how this could possibly end, and it wasn't promising.
I guess, and let's look at the last one, the Adder pick against the Sammy pick.
Yep. Yeah, and I guess we haven't spoke about this map at all.
Yeah.
So this one This is the only map I actually did a practice game for, because this map is just kind of wacky.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a I don't know. I had to actually play a game just to see like where does anything actually go? What do these artillery do? So shout outs to The Last, who is one of my buddies. We practice a fair bit. But the artillery. So here, like picking what's the weak base? I think the weakest base is the ones that are more center, the top and bottom ones.
Oh, these.
Yeah, and this game didn't play out like that at all. But I think those are the weaker bases. And that artillery in the middle, and this happened in my game, and this also happened in the practice game. If you go to capture, if you buy an early recon, you can hard deny all the properties around it.
Yeah, which is what you did here.
Yeah. And so this actually happened in the practice game I played as well. And it's just those bases, and if you look at what my opponent's doing, they're doing the same thing. I think they actually could have bought the recon a turn earlier, so even if I rushed it, I couldn't get there. They can do like a turn 1 recon. But those 2 properties there are like poison. You can't go for those in the early game. And then in terms of the actual base strength, the corner bases, that artillery actually locks your own base.
Yeah.
And so you need to answer that artillery before you can kill the base. And the way this plays out, I just bought a bunch of recons. The main reason I played Adder instead of Sammy, because I think Sammy's the other pick. Jess is also probably fine because the airports are kind of in all the way in the corner, so air units aren't going to be quite as strong. But there's so many infantry that I wasn't super comfortable with Jess. But Adder, it was again, lots of roads in the center. I wanted a lot of recons, and I expected a lot of infantries and maybe even some mechs, because mechs are one of the only ways to kill those artillery.
Yeah.
And so Adder just felt like if I'm going to pump out a lot of early recons, then I kind of wanted the CO that could benefit from that. And then the way this played out, because my opponent tried so hard to take that top right base, it just meant that I had full control of the center, so all I had to do was not lose a base. And so I put all of my funds into that base. I had a pretty hefty economic lead, and a lot of that came from, it was a lot of Sammy doing the capture even though they're going to lose the infantry kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I was ahead on units. There wasn't quite as much pressure as there should have been. And so I just and I like the little mega tank chain that happens over here, or the medium tank chain.
The train, yeah.
Yeah. And it was actually super important to keep the properties there, because those were how I was getting vision. Because these things don't have any vision. If you flip to my turn in that top right corner, I can't see anything.
I thought that was so hilarious. That was really funny. We go like this.
Yeah. And so I can only hit things that are actually on these cities. And especially because my opponent did the smart thing to just kill all the vision. Yeah.
Was there a reason for this little train, them being one next to the other, to avoid a 2-hit KO or something like that? Or?
Yeah, I knew there were artillery there. I knew there was a copter. It was mostly just because I didn't want to run them getting trapped, and then if they're trapped, you can't attack the thing that they're trapped against. And so you can only really move one step at a time to sort of take small steps because you can't see where you're going.
They all move in file. They all go boom. They all one tap. That's funny.
Yeah, and then all I was trying to do was get vision to them. So can I get a recon over there? Because as soon as I can see what I'm doing, this is great.
Yeah, you bring this recon and then you make another one, and that's really great. Well, I guess. Then, yeah, go ahead.
Well, the only other thing was that my opponent ran into a similar situation a few turns ago, right before I ended up base locking them. So if you go back to where they had the medium tank but no vision, this turn here, and in order to get around the vision thing, they buy a recon. But then that's okay, you have a recon, I can kill that and then block your base. And so this was the situation I didn't want to fall into, right? I couldn't afford to buy the recon there because it just gets killed by the artillery something, and then a copter sits on my base and I'm dead, right? And the base dies.
Yeah.
And so this is the situation I was afraid of. Was I can buy the vision in that base, but then I lose the base, or I can just keep pumping out medium tanks and maybe it lives.
Yeah, it felt like that was the only thing, like the only card that Mobiliv had was like try to flip the space and to at least try to come back or not be completely lost. And like this was the only thing that you had to do to win the match. It was like just prevent that from happening because everywhere else you were winning. So you just had to hold here, invest as much as possible, and just prevent this from flipping.
Yep, and it was still Sammy. There were still a couple turns in there where it was like, all right, there's could be a spooky like double lab cap off of Victory March where you like stack a bunch of units. Because if you just look at the tanks over there, like it looks like Sammy's pretty far from the super, but you just run those all into medium tanks and mega tanks. You have like the super's available here.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure like I have an infantry sitting on my lab in the bottom, and I have like as much as I can the area around it cleared out. So I was like checking forests and whatnot. And,
oh, you're right, because it's only this one and this one. Wow.
Yeah. And like that top right one is just if the super happens, that one's gone.
Yeah.
I can't stop that.
Yeah, it's this.
And so I just had to like make sure to like clear out the area around that one.
And you had a single infantry on this lab.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I scanned pretty hard to make sure like, all right, check all the forests. You know, nothing's within that like 5 tile radius of this. So.
That would have been huge and devastating. Imagine it. Victory March, you get this, you get this. I had one last question, and this could maybe be the finishing question.
Sure.
So, you know, you won, you're the champion, and as every champion of the on-site tournaments, the prize is to get the little pixel trophy. And my question was, why did you choose a Yellow Comet mech?
That is an excellent question, and I put a lot of thought into it too. So I'm glad I get to share my thoughts. the yellow comet part's not that exciting. It's if you look at my profile, yeah. I have, you know, every single game is with Yellow Comet, and with any luck, that's not going to change anytime soon. And the mech was for two main. There's sort of a bunch of reasons, but it ended up being these are the two important reasons. It's never been chosen before, so if you look through all the old trophies, even from older tournaments before the on-site tournaments came back, you could these people choosing stealths or even infantry or mega tanks or all these tons of different units. No one's chosen a mech before, and also mechs played a pretty significant role in all of the games I played in these final games. Right, the Jess mechs in round 1 in the quarterfinals. I had my own little, Kindle mech ball sitting on mountains in the corner. And then here, I had a single mech that was responsible, whose only job was to KO this artillery. And I think I ended up getting a super to KO an anti-air. So, this mech did work.
It has 0 bullets left.
So, yeah, if you go back to, what that mech did, it was pretty key. It was actually, pivotal in this attack and taking that base. It KOs this artillery by itself. I positioned it in the timing so that the power gets it within range, and then it kills it in the next 2 turns, and then the super, I believe, gives it enough range to KO an anti-air on the following turn.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So it had to be a mech. It was always going to be Yellow Comet. So that's why that was my trophy.
Well, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being here. Thank you for the spectacle that your matches were. I feel like any match that you have is always a lot of fun to watch, and there's always something funny that happens and something wacky and crazy, and I love it. So thank you for being a player in the community that brings a lot of entertainment.
Yeah, and thanks for inviting me here. This has been a lot of fun too.
Of course, for sure. And congrats on winning, and good luck on the next tournaments, I guess, and the ladder.
Thanks so much.
Well, bye bye.